Hey guys, welcome back to IMF Gunpla. Today we're going to be taking a look at the out-of-box build of the RX-77D Guncannon mass production type. We're going to break this video down into three parts. The first will be the build. We'll just kind of go over quickly the any kind of cool notes during the build, kind of how each part is built, legs, arms, torso, and stuff. Then we will go to the review of the actual figure. And then finally, we will go a quick, I guess we'll call it a build guide. Just notes of seam lines that'll need to be removed, where paint apps will have to be added to, match the actual model. So let's begin with the build. It's a pretty simple build. Not too dated, but definitely not a modern kit by any standards. The ankles are interesting. I don't know if you can actually see in there or not, but they are hollow. Let's just see if I can pop it off. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how it's built. And then of course you've got the ankle ball joint there. And the way the legs are built is there's one single piece in here, goes the length of it. And then the two halves will snap around it. Then it goes up into the knee joint, which is also another quite interesting joint. And it's two pieces. Let's see if I can get them to split apart. Oh, there we go. And like I said, it's two different pieces. And then the two pieces go together. And what's interesting about it, it's one of the few kits, at least that I know of, that after you build it, it will have a knee swivel. It's not much of a swivel, but a swivel nonetheless. Then, of course, there's a poly cap on this side, which that slides into. And then there's a poly cap in the upper leg. Did I miss a nub? Oh, that's bad. I missed the nub. But anyway. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing back in here.
A few moments later.
There we go. It is back in there. But like I said, it does have a knee swivel, which is interesting to say the least. Alright, let's go ahead and split him in half for this next part. Yes, there's that. We'll get back to that. His waist, surprisingly enough, his side skirts can be split. And I can't remember, does it back? No, the back does not lift up. And he's just on regular ball joint in his hips. But like I said, the front skirts can lift, and it's kind of weirdly designed. Like, there's no side piece. It's just there's the front and the back, and the front will raise up. That is it. So it gives you a little bit of range in the front, but you have no, can't go up to the side too much. And then this here is one piece, his butt thruster and a little armor plate, which I'm not bringing him out to compare it, but the GM Cannon 2 actually has almost the exact same piece on his butt. So I found that kind of cool. And of course that one piece in the leg gives you thrusters back here. Let's see, where'd that piece go that fell off? And then you've got this, which I guess is like a fuel tank or something. But it just snaps in here. And will definitely, in the end, need to be glued. Seam lines on the lower body, the feet. Of course, the ones up here in the front, which I've already glued, I need to sand. So you need the front and the back, glued. I guess we'll just put, okay, we'll do it in two parts. We'll have the build and tips, just one area. So yeah, those will definitely have to be seam lines removed. This yellow up here is a sticker. That is a piece. And then, though it's really hard to see, that little tiny piece in there, a little hole right there, is actually two pieces that you slide into the skirt before you put it on, which is very cool. I'm hoping I didn't screw myself, and hopefully that will come right back out, and I can paint it and then put it back in. Add some little black detail in there. But other than that, that is the hips. Very interesting. The leg build is pretty simple. You can actually see the thruster actually ends up being different color than the bottom of the feet. But it's pretty much layered. You've got the inner piece here. Then you've got the front of the foot. I believe the back was a separate piece. And then you've got this little dark gray piece here. Then the red block that goes on top of it. And like I said, it's an interesting build-up. Really ugly nub marks, though, that are really hard to remove. I'll probably turn those into some battle damage when I actually detail it and paint it. So there's that. Let's get to the head, or the chest. Seam lines here.
Sorry, do you speak English?
No, I don't, sorry.
Are very obvious. It's one straight on the bottom of his arm and right down the middle, which I've already glued and prepared for removal. I just have to get around to it. And, yeah. And he's got almost the same joint in his elbow that he does in his leg. But this time it's one piece. And it's this. And you got the red bicep piece. And it's really hard to do this looking through a camera. But it just slides in there. And then the poly cap will go through there. And that forms your arm. Your shoulder goes in on a fixed stud here with the shoulder really not being connected to anything. It just kind of floats there. As a matter of fact, can you just... No, you can't. You can't just put... Oh, no, I know what it is. My bad. I'm not going to split apart because I have it glued. But it's two halves that close in on the elbow. There's a ball thing here which has the stud going through it. And then there's a other piece that sits on top of it, kind of like the Guncannon's shoulders, or the regular Guncannon shoulder. And then this clamps to it, and there's little bumps on the front and the back that go into holes in here, and that's how the shoulder armor goes on. So it gives a little bit of swivel. The head, the main piece is in two halves. Disappointing, the visor is a sticker, which I think we talked about in the unboxing. Would have been very easy to make it a clear piece because it is a separate piece in there. And the only thing holding that piece in is the visor here. So if you lose the visor, you're going to lose that piece. And then you've got the little safety bar there. And then the antennas are two separate pieces. Yeah. Other arms built the same way. Pretty basic. And then the backpacks actually build up quite a bit. This little kind of L-shaped piece here is separate. This piece is separate. All four of these thruster bells are separate. This yellow piece is separate. And this here is a little add-on piece that's very delicate. It uses two little tabs that will snap in there. I've actually glued them because I broke both tabs. Oops. So they are glued in there. And then the gun builds are pretty interesting. They're okay, but I think they could have done better. Which we'll talk about in the actual, review of the figure. But the way it is there's a cylinder here, which is actually based in here. It can only come up so far, and then this thinner rod is connected to this right here, and that's what allows it to come in and out. And they will go all the way back, and then all the way forward. But enough about that. Let's get to the actual review. So I'm sure a lot of you are here for this exact reason. Is he worth picking up? Long story short, yes. If you can deal with the seam lines, pretty much the only issue. I mean, a few paint apps, which I guess I forgot to go over. So we'll go over those while I'm reviewing it. But it is a nice figure. I don't have my Guncannon Revive at the moment to compare it with. But it is a beast compared to it. Much wider. Much taller, and just looks a lot bulkier, which, makes sense because it's supposed to be an armored up version of it. Like we said, the cannons do extend, and my only issue with the cannon is I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but it's very hard to make them straight. Like, they want to kind of veer off to either side, but they will go from straight up to slightly down, but pretty much straight forward. The head does not have much rotation, just because of the big cannons on his shoulder. He'll go up about like that, and he'll look down like that. The neck joint is actually a fixed piece. Like usually there's a ball on the bottom and on the top, or a swivel at the bottom to let the head move a little more. But this is actually a fixed neck. So that is all you're going to get out of it. He cannot go completely around. So you're only going to get, that much there. Shoulders, they're a fixed stud system. So they go out like there. And then they will do a complete 360 though. So there's that. Like I said, the bicep will go out like that. You've got a swivel at the elbow. Actually, I have elbow bicep. And then you've got what's kind of odd is it'll actually bend back a little bit. And pretty much 90 degrees is as far as you're going to go with it. Same thing on this side. Well, I don't have it with me. His only accessory is another fist, which I believe is for this side. And it's just another multi-use fist. So nothing there. His waist swivels, and it will go 360 degrees, which is pretty nice for how bulky he is. And if you do kind of pull him up a little bit, you can get a little bit of a bend, but you got this ugly gap in between them, so it's not meant to do that. But if you need to, it is there. And of course, his backpack requires a lot of painting. Across here, there's supposed to be a black stripe. These thruster bells, I want to say they stay red, but the inside is supposed to be black, I believe. I'm probably going to paint them yellow. Honestly, what I'll probably do is paint the outside black or like a gunmetal, and then leave the inside red, because I like my thrusters red inside. And then this needs to get some details on it. And then panel lining in there. And of course, same thing with this. Paint the inside of that red. Paint these red, leave the black inside. Paint the outside of it, like the sunken in area, black, and then do the inside of the thrusters red. Hip wise, the knee will do a 360, but the hip itself, because it's on a ball joint, will only go, like that. The way the skirts are designed, that's as far out as, well, but it's ball joints too, so that's as far out as he's going to do. No full splits here, people. Like I said, his knees, hang on. His knees will do if I can get him lined up right, we'll do a complete 360. I don't think it's supposed to, so be careful that you don't snap the ball, the poly cap in there. You're getting about a 90-degree bend, that's it. Which is understandable because he is a very bulky kit. So, there's that. His front skirts do lift up, so he can bring his knee all the way up, which is, pretty good for how bulky he is. And then his ankles will go forward that much, come up that much. There's no articulation beyond the ankle pivot, so nothing's going to bend in here. They will go, and I don't know why it'll bend outward more than it will inward. What if I have the ankles on the wrong feet? I may look into that. But that's it. And then at the bottom, I do like the fact that the way they assembled it, which I talked about in the first part, the thruster is a different color than the rest of the foot, which makes it stand out and look good. So that's about it. His accessory is a machine gun, one of the 90mm bullpup designs. These little pieces on his chest are separate color pieces. Like I said, that is a sticker. And then the only other stickers left, which I haven't applied because I'm not going to put them on until I'm ready to do some paint work, is he's got 3 6s in the TH. The TH is supposed to go on that shoulder. There's 1 6 on this shoulder. And then I think the other 2 6s will go on the backpack. I think they're right around this area. But, yeah. Overall, it's a good figure. We definitely need a revive, without a doubt. The cannons, like I said, can be annoying because they want to, see like that? They want to swivel around. I don't know of any way you can really fix it. So anytime you extend the guns, you're going to have to fix the top parts. But overall, I'd say it's a really good figure. Like I said, the 2 main panel line removing areas, it's going to have to be on the arm here, top and bottom, and the thighs here, front and back. There's no way around that. The back of the legs, I can live with that seam line. I'm not going to mess with it. way the front halves go together, there is a panel line in there. Oh, I forgot. No, the knees need to be. The knees do have to have their line, their seam line removed, which I have glued in thing. They could have easily made this a separate piece, easily, and not have that problem. But it is an old kit, so well, that's what we get. So I do recommend it if you're if you don't remove the seam lines, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I mean, the top of this one is going to be covered by his machine gun anyway, and you could just kind of pose this arm out of the way where you're not going to see it. Shoulders could have the seam line removed. I'm not worrying about them because, my kits really aren't going to be displayed straight down like that, which, by the way, I love that silhouette, even from the side. Just looks really cool, that backpack hanging off there. There are seam lines where it connects to right here, but I think of them as panel lines. I may actually enlarge it a little bit and then put some panel line through there. And then well, the cannons are actually, one piece. There's no seam line down the center of them like they usually are. So you're good on the cannons. There's a... Got his leg back on. His head, there is a panel line, seam line. Let's see if I can get some light on this head here. There is a seam line that goes right down, right through the middle of his head, and like up in there. I'm not worried about it. Actually, I take back. I think I did glue it, so I'll probably work on removing that. But there is that seam line too. Not too bad. And then his cockpit doesn't move or open. So, but yeah, I think it's a good figure. Definitely gives the mobile suit justice, but it would be nice to have a revive. Definitely need a revive kit of it. But yeah, I guess that's the end of the review. If you can find one for, I'd say about maybe 15 is the most I would pay for it shipped. If you don't find one, like, in the store. Pretty good color separation. Nothing too bad. I mean, the thruster bells would have to be painted. Like I said, that requires a black stripe through it. But you're not really going to see it unless you're displaying it from the back. So you could easily get away with it. I mean, if you wanted to, there are two indentations of like where the stripe will go. So you could just paint. Let's see if I can get it to show up. There they are. So you could just add them as panel lines and be done with it. Lots of panel lining possibilities, which I like. And if you compare it to the original Guncannon, it's nice because there's a lot of throwbacks to the original Guncannon. Kind of be like, hey, this is the upgraded Guncannon, which, it pretty much is. So, yeah, if you can find one at a reasonable price, definitely pick it up. It is a great kit. Like I said, it does have decent posability. Though it is kind of odd the way the knee swivels, so. But other than that, I would recommend it. Like I said, if you can find it for a good price, grab it. I'm sorry this review is a little choppy. I'm literally kind of making it up as I go. So leave a like below if you liked it. Leave a comment or questions about the figure, and I'll try to answer them if I see the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you liked, didn't like about the video. Definitely think instead of the 3 parts, we'll have 2. Where from now on, I'll probably just do the review first, and then go over the build side, seam lines and construction techniques they use in the figure. That way you'll see the posability first, and I won't ruin the posability with the review part. So that's what our future videos will be like: review, build stuff. The review, the build. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.